Hello Oilers fans, Austin here, and welcome back to another video. In today's discussion video, we are going to be talking about the fallout of the offer sheet situation from the St. Louis Blues. Obviously, the Oilers yesterday decided to decline both of those offer sheets and take the compensation, which is a second and third round pick from the Blues. They also made a separate transaction acquiring Paul Fischer and a third rounder. So there's also that, just trying to maximize the value for losing two young players. I kind of want to discuss Stan Bowman's comments because he made a couple comments that I thought were really interesting before we head into training camp and head into the season. And then, of course, we're going to take a look at the projected lineup for the upcoming season and my thoughts on what I think the Oilers should be targeting right now to improve the team in order to remain a cup contender. And they are still cup contenders despite losing Broberg and Holloway. They will be greatly missed, but we need to start focusing on the season upcoming. If you are excited for the upcoming season and you're excited to see daily Oilers content once again, make sure you hit like on today's video. Make sure you hit subscribe if you are not yet subscribed, and let's jump into it. So just like the top of the screen says, what's next for the Oilers? Well, there's a few things that I think that are going to happen, but I don't think that they're going to entirely happen right away. I think it's going to happen in season. Sunflower just subscribed. That's fun. Sunflower, if you are watching right now as I'm recording, that's interesting. I didn't know I had notifications on there. That's funny. So like I said, there's a few things that I think that are going to happen, but I think they will happen in season. I think the Oilers are going to be pretty quiet before training camp now. I think the big focus is signing Leon Draisaitl and Evan Bouchard before training camp. Those are like the two big things that they need to get done. I don't think Draisaitl or Bouchard want to be negotiating contracts during the season. I think they're going to want to be focusing on winning a Stanley Cup while the season is ongoing. So if Stan Bowman can get these two players signed, at minimum, get Leon Draisaitl signed and locked in long-term, optimally 8-year contract at around $13.5 million. That is like number one. Number two is improving the defensive depth on the team, acquiring a true top 4 D-man, but I think that will happen in season. I don't think that will happen before the season. However, Stan Bowman, Jeff Jackson, and the Edmonton Oilers front office brass have surprised me a few times this summer. So let's just kind of jump into the offer sheet situation. Sorry, that was the wrong screen. Here we go. I wanted to talk about the cap space situation, who's in and who's out after the offer sheets that were made. And then I wanted to touch on one tweet from at B Curlock on X or Twitter.com, which I think was hilarious. As we all know, Cody Ceci and Leon Draisaitl, they were best friends. Draisaitl absolutely loved Ceci, and Ceci is gone now, likely because of these offer sheets that occurred. He might have been traded regardless, but because it happened when the St. Louis Blues or after the Blues made those offer sheets, B. Curlock asks, what do you set the over-under at in terms of number of points Leon Draisaitl scores against the St. Louis Blues this season? I believe they played twice, both in Edmonton. For me, I set the over-under to 10 points against the St. Louis Blues. I think Leon Draisaitl is going to go nuclear on the St. Louis Blues. He is going to take this very, very personally against Doug Armstrong and the St. Louis Blues. That was a fun tweet that I wanted to put up there. You can let me know your thoughts on that in the comments section below as well. But when we look at the current cap space, $945,833. Now, for the Edmonton Oilers, as long as they don't use the LTIR pool, that cap space right there that they currently have, that accrues throughout the season. And then when you get towards the trade deadline, the accrued cap space, I think, would be around $4 million. You could acquire a $4 million value player at the deadline because as the season progresses, that accrues. If you put Evander Kane on LTIR, his cap space does not accrue. That is just like a one-time thing. So if you let cap space accrue and then you put, let's say, Evander Kane on LTIR like right before the trade deadline, give themselves about $9-10 million worth of cap space to play with at the deadline, that would be huge. I think that's kind of what they're going to be doing. Stan Bowman made a couple comments regarding Evander Kane. He thinks he should or could be healthy when the season starts, but if not, they may not put him on LTIR. So we're going to see what happens with Evander Kane there. And then, of course, the situation with the offer sheets in for Edmonton, Podkolzin, of course, the trade made with the Canucks, Emberson, trade with the San Jose Sharks. Fischer is a prospect. I believe Fischer's unsigned, a second and 2/3. And then out of the Oilers system is Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg, Cody Ceci, and a third rounder. Now, when you look at Broberg and Holloway, obviously their upside, it's a huge loss, but until they prove themselves at the NHL level, I won't be too heartbroken yet. I think what the Oilers were able to do in the meantime was pretty good considering the circumstances. And I have a lot more faith in this front office right now than I did a couple weeks ago at maximizing value value. I think Emberson is a really good pickup for the defensive group. Not top 4 proven yet. However, if he has a really good camp, maybe you could see him slot in next to Darnell Nurse when the season starts, just to get a look and get a feel, see how they play together. Obviously, optimally, Darnell Nurse gets a partner that can just kind of calm him down, slow him down a little bit. Nurse is what he is. I really don't want to hammer home Darnell Nurse's contract anymore. It is what it is. At minimum, and the most positive thing coming out of the offer sheet scenario is Cody Ceci and Darnell Nurse will never play together again, which means I will not be turning into the Joker. I will not be cutting smiles into my cheeks. That is not going to happen. For those of you who are new, I used to make jokes about turning into the Joker every time Ceci and Nurse were played together. So if that's something that kind of freaks you out of me just saying out of pocket, it has just been a running joke on the channel for a while. So in terms of additional moves, like I mentioned in the intro, I think the big thing right now is locking up Leon Draisaitl and Evan Bouchard and then figuring out the rest in season. So let's take a look at the projected lineup here. First line, Nuge, McDavid, Hyman. Second line, Skinner, Draisaitl, Arvidsson. However, Skinner and Arvidsson, Hyman, Nuge, you'll probably see them move up and down the lineup just to see what works. Maybe guys are going to slow down. You know, I don't expect Hyman to score more than 50 goals this year. There's a lot of scoring depth on Edmonton now. I would assume Hyman's probably going to come back down to earth, 30, 35 goals max. Now, Evander Kane on the third line. Now, I have LTIR beside his name because I still project him to be on LTIR. However, because of Stan Bowman's comments yesterday during his little press conference that he did online with the Oilers media, Kane could be ready to go right out of camp, and the Oilers are cap compliant right now if he is. So that's good news for Edmonton. That would be good news for Kane. And if Kane is healthy and he's able to produce once again at a strong, I wouldn't say elite level, but at a career level, that would be huge for Edmonton. Obviously, on the third line, I don't expect Evander Kane to score 30 goals anymore, but if he can put in 20 for Edmonton and remain mostly healthy throughout the year, that is a positive. I have Henrique and Podkolzin slotted in on that third line. Fourth line, Janmark, Ryan, Brown. However, they may go Janmark, Henrique, Brown on the third line. This is just kind of where I'm putting depth chart. This is not official. And then Perry, Hamblin, and Savoy. Now, with the loss of Holloway, that's a lot of speed and skill that you've lost in your forward group. Savoy has an opportunity to come into camp, show off his speed, show off his skill, maybe make the team out of camp and provide a little bit of extra speed and skill in that bottom six at Edmonton. Because if you look at the bottom six forward group and then the extra forwards, there's not a lot of speed or skill there. The Oilers are a very old team in terms of, average age. I think the average age on the main roster now is like 30 years old, which is first in the league in terms of age. I don't think they're a slow team, and depending on the system that Chris Knobloch wants to play, you can play fast without actually having the fastest players on your team. There is a way to play fast, and it's usually just with puck possession, but I still would like to see a little bit more speed in that bottom six, so if Savoy can show something in training camp, that would be awesome. On defense, you have Ekholm with Bouchard. Of course, that's your number one pair. Nurse with Stetcher for now. In limited minutes last season, I did like those two together, and they did put up pretty decent advanced metrics as well. So you may see Stetcher with Nurse to start the year. Kulak with Emberson, I think, would be a great third pair. And then Gleason and Warner, I think, would be your call-up options. Extra defensive depth there. Skinner and Pickard in net. I don't foresee the Edmonton Oilers doing anything with the goaltending group here. I think those are the two that they're going to run with. They're going to run it back. They're going to give Skinner that opportunity. They're going to give Pickard the opportunity to be a very good backup, which he was last season. As long as everyone plays not only to their potential, but to their career norms, this is going to be a good year for the Edmonton Oilers. I feel really positive about everything, even after losing Broberg and Holloway. I still like this forward group. I like this defensive group. However, I would like to see a real true top four right defenseman. And depending on the salary cap situation and how close to the deadline they want to put someone on LTIR, like Evander Kane, I would imagine a top four right D-man, right shot right D-man will happen mid-season. I don't think it'll happen prior. However, like I said, Stan Bowman and the Oilers front office have surprised me in a good way numerous times throughout the summer. Jeff Jackson, that sort of thing. So we'll see what the Oilers end up doing here. What do you think the Oilers' biggest pressing need is right now? When we take a look at this projected forward group, defensive group, and goaltending group, what do you think the Oilers should be going after? Do you think they should just kind of stand pat, wait for training camp, see who shows in training camp? There's always a couple surprises. There's always a couple players that play way above what they're projected. They end up making the team, which is very exciting. I know the Penticton rookie showcase rookie tournament. That's going to be happening in the middle of September. So I am looking forward to that. I will be providing lots of content for that as well. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. I did just kind of want to recap everything that happened. So if you ended up enjoying the video, make sure you hit like. And if you really liked today's video, make sure you hit subscribe. Daily content is very, very soon on the way here. I know I promised more content during the summer. However, the news was really slow for a large chunk of the summer. And then, of course, I've been working, and it's summertime, right? A lot of you aren't even on YouTube every day. So we are getting back into the daily uploads, though. Big plans for the channel. Very, very excited. I appreciate everyone's support lately. The views lately have been amazing. So thank you so much. As long as Edmonton gets Leon Draisaitl signed, though, that is the big thing. I'm wearing Draisaitl's jersey right now. I'm trying to will this into existence, and we'll see you soon. Oil Country, make sure you tell someone that you love them, all right? Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.